The Bullet Club Civil War rages on as Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi of the Golden Lovers are forced to combat Kenny Omega's closest friends, Be Elite, the Young Bucks, in a tag team match in the main event of Strong Style Evolved, which is an American pay-per-view event. It's from Japan. They were planning to do this new expansion towards America and whatnot, which I believe is going to succeed in my opinion. And they totally underestimated, in my opinion, the power and influence they have outside Japan, because it got within mere minutes, apparently, from what I was hearing, when they announced the show and they got the tickets available, it sold out. And Kenny Omega lamented, believing that, yeah, we should have got a bigger venue. It really should have gotten a bigger venue. And, I was disappointed in Japan when New Japan Pro Wrestling, when I heard that. I was like, come on, people have been craving to see an alternative to WWE, and you're bringing it over to a big venue. Imagine how much money you could have made more if you got ticket sales with this. Yeah, a lot of people don't really subscribe to New Japan Pro Wrestling. I believe they said 10,000 people at the very least estimation watch it outside Japan, but still, it's a big deal when people have been clamoring for something different from WWE and their repetitive crap they've been doing, and their whole, hey, let's piss off the fans, and let's do body-shaming storylines, or let's do this stupid idea because God knows we can't think of anything creative, and if someone dares think they can be creative, we'll punish them for it. So, yeah, when I heard that the Golden Lovers and the Young Bucks was happening, I was like, okay, that's it, everyone. Call it a night, everyone. The week has been stolen. Japan just won the battle for the week. I could say the month, but we don't know yet. And I knew they were going to steal the show because this is the Young Bucks and the Golden Lovers, and Kenny Omega's in this, so basically that's going to count for something. But mostly, it was going to be a very interesting storytelling because of the relationship between Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. After their announcement regarding how they're moving up into the tag team division, the Young Bucks announced they were going to be heavyweight competitors now, which should show that why isn't 205 Live doing that? Since they can just automatically declare, we're moving upwards, I want to be in the upper division. Okay, you can be in the upper division. But anyways, the Young Bucks, also, I'm trying to recall, but Matt, he still has this back selling injury back from February. So yeah, he's still selling this back injury he has. I don't know if it's real, but still. But yeah, he's selling this injury in his lower back, which should say something regarding the continuity between Japan, Ring of Honor, and all the other promotions they are tied together, which makes me say we need an interconnected shared universe of wrestling with WWE and the independent promotions. Probably will happen if Vince McMahon is no longer in power, but that could be a while. But anyways, that's just a hopeful, wishful thinking. But when the match was announced and it was announced to be the main event, I was excited. Okay, there's New Japan Pro Wrestling. They're going to introduce their style. They're going to give them a long time to work this out. And by God, this match was freaking awesome. I loved the storytelling, the action, the suspense. I wanted, you're tearing me apart, B Elites. Yeah, they also tied in their show with it. But yeah, I was like, you're tearing me apart, Elite! Because no one wants to see their friends fight like this. Matt and Nick feel like Kenny Omega replaced them with Kota Ibushi, but Kenny's trying to be like, no, I'm not replacing you guys. You're still my brothers and whatnot. And yeah. And I don't know, I think Cody might be trying to influence the Bucks to do something for him. But yeah, this match was phenomenally classic. They were allowed to go all out. The Young Bucks do their trademark Young Buckiness, if you want to call it that. And I loved how they even managed to still sell this emotion. Like, Kenny can't do the things he wants to do because they're his bros. He's always gonna care about them, and he can't bring himself to hurt them in some drastic way. My favorite moment, I know some people were saying this was mixed about it, but when I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to get the name right. Kenny Omega prepared to do the one-winged angel finishing maneuver, but then he dropped his arm like, I can't do it. And yeah. Oh, man. So, Matt screams out, "Go on, do it, Kenny, do it!" And forces him to do the move. And, like, I was like, some people were mixed about that. Some didn't like it. I loved it because I was like, character development! Oh, God, when was the last time I saw this? Oh, wait. One that doesn't require insultingly disturbing angles like body shaming for some fucked up reason that makes no sense. Yeah, I'm still taking shots at Vince and his creativity. But yeah. But this match was of superb quality. This match was probably the best tag team match I've seen in a while. I could be wrong, but still. There probably were better there probably are great tag team matches, but like this is a tag team match. Like, holy shit, this was awesome! This was awesome, and it didn't require Nicholas. I will never understand that. And fans were chanting, "This is awesome! Fight forever! This is awesome! Fight forever!" And I did love when you kept hearing the fans scream out, "Be elite! Be elite! Be elite! Be elite!" Like, it's just so great that we're getting all this stuff from the fans. They're actually invested instead of feeling forcibly obligated or being planted to get Roman Reigns cheers. That's a standing theory right now as of Raw. Yeah, but and I loved that, and like, every time I see the pile driver being used, like, yeah, I understand why WWE doesn't allow it, but I miss seeing it a lot. Like, I know Undertaker and Kane are allowed to do it because they're considered the safest to work with it, and CM Punk was given an exception because, well, he's fighting John Cena, and thus John Cena needs to look awesome. And also, I was surprised that they didn't really utilize the super kick all that much, like I would expect from the Young Bucks. Like, not like the whole 6-man tag team match that happened between the Super Clique of Bullet Club and Ricochet, Evan Bourne, as he was called in WWE, I think his name is Matt Sindula, and Will Ospreay. Yeah. And I did also love when Matt removed his belt and started acting like Hollywood Hogan, hitting Kenny Omega with it. And he is given this moment of temptation to try and strike him down, but he denies it, opting to instead go for 2 V-triggers, and Matt gives him a spear in response. Oh, and we also get a table spot, yeah, because every match has to have a table spot for some reason. And then we get this moment when, after Kenny Omega does the one-winged angel by reluctant force, because Matt demands it, Nick jumped in and was asking, "What the hell, man?" and whatnot. And then he just gets into this emotional state where he's striking both of them down. And it was awesome. But Ibushi cuts him off and sends him outside. And Kota Ibushi hit the golden trigger on Matt for the pinfall. And then we get this other awesome moment that Kenny Omega is cradling Matt's head in his hands after he covered him, realizing, yeah, he just put his former Bullet Club mate and best friend down. And it's like he's come to peace with that, but still sees them as his brothers, but fears that maybe they're no longer going to be best of friends. And he posed for Kota Ibushi and was preparing to leave. Then Cody Rhodes comes down to be pissed off, as always, as his psychopathic self. And Kota Ibushi and Kenny Omega run back to make the save before Cody could do any real damage. And Kenny Omega offered a peace between the Young Bucks. Nick agreed, however, Matt refused and rolled out of the ring. And I did love after the when they cut their promo. Kenny Omega cuts this big promo saying that there are casualties in war. He's upset that the dissension between the Elite was one of those casualties, but he believes he's trying to find a silver lining that the Golden Lovers are back, and they'll be back when Japan returns in July, when New Japan returns in July, and he promised to beat the living hell out of Cody when they return, in a bigger and better building. Omega said he might have broken an orbital bone, then finished his promo with his signature with a good night, goodbye, and good night. Bang! And holy crap, this match was freaking awesome, like I kept saying. Like, this is a match of the equality match. Like, I don't get this vibe unless I'm watching NXT, because that's a completely different product, and I refuse to acknowledge that that is part of WWE for all the reasons in the world that I can think of. Mostly it's just because Vince is not involved in it as much. But, yeah, I like getting this new... I like exploring more options because I've been a WWE fan for so many years, and they started pushing me away because I dare have a right to have an opinion, or I dare say something I don't like it because something about this whole thing makes no sense, or they introduce crap after crap, or oppress their own workers because one gets over, one has a personal life, one took a picture with the Bullet Club, and I'm still not letting that go. I seriously hope, and I wish Jimmy Jacobs sued them for that. I honestly do, for some reason. Because I'm pretty certain he could... I'm not a legal expert, but I'm still certain he could sue them for wrongful termination. And with intense discrimination. But yeah, anyways, moving on from that. Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, the Young Bucks, they delivered a hell of a match, and like I said, it like when I read that thread post I told you all about in the Golden Lovers versus Cody and Marty Scurll match in the previous thoughts video, I said that they were adding more layers for me with the whole history between Kota and Kenny. Add that, add the being the Elite, add the Bullet Club Civil War, add all these stories coming together for this epic tale, and this is awesome. I'm enjoying Bullet Club Civil War storyline. I don't watch the shows I don't watch Ring of Honor every week, but from just looking up all this stuff, watching the matches, watching the promos, I can easily understand what the hell is going on. A hell of a lot better than Vince does it with WWE. But, yeah, I'm liking finding more alternatives outside of main roster WWE. It's so enjoyable, and wrestling is so hot right now with all these promotions out and about, trying to do things that Vince refuses to do or is adamant in doing. Or... like, seeing WWE contracted wrestlers, like the UK wrestlers who aren't really signed to an exclusive deal, and they still bring their UK title over to the independent promotions, and they go ahead and wrestle in other promotions, like Austin Aries versus Pete Dunne. Mostly Pete Dunne, because he's being well recognized for his talents. And he's freaking awesome, and I really don't want him on main rosterville because he'll be relegated to cruiserweights. But yeah, watching Japan, like I said, I gotta give Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho huge props because they properly made me a fan. Like, I've known about this show. I've known about it for years. Hiroshi Tanahashi was like my introduction to it, but me becoming a fan was because Chris Jericho's coming on there. Kenny Omega's doing awesome work. The Young Bucks are just hilarious and entertainingly awesome. But yeah, and I'd known CM Punk and Samoa Joe, and I did watch some Impact Wrestling shows back when it was in its prime, and before Hogan happened. But since New Japan Pro Wrestling saying is that, hey, WWE, we're coming for you mentality, I think. That's just my opinion regarding this expansion they're planning to do. And yeah, this is going to be a pretty awesome time. I plan to eventually talk about the match between Kenny Omega versus Cody, but that's still a little bit ways away. I still need to watch some extra matches first before I get to that. I want to get this whole thing collectively clear so I can have a big discussion regarding that match. So those were my thoughts on the Golden Lovers versus the Young Bucks at New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Style Evolved. This was Neo Reality Entertainment. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and donate. Stay tuned for more.